the problems is actually we are unable to actually get the cost of the production.
We don't know how much material wastage in a way.
Well, my challenge in a way is actually to get management buy-in.
A lot of SMEs don't have data to quantify their investments.
So what I've done is I've come up with 3 potential suggestions. We've got Plan A, Plan B and Plan C. Hello, hi. Welcome to SmartB YouTube channel. My name is Alwin and I'm here today because we've got an interesting project. We're going to meet with one of my clients. I'm not sure if you can see, we are meeting Panwrite. Panwrite is a PET manufacturer, and what we are going to do is we're going to look at the business and help them go digital. Today we are going to look at some of the problems that they're facing. Hopefully some of the problems can be common to viewers like you who are watching this video, and we will also be doing some short discussion with the business owner to learn more about what they are facing in a bit more detail, and we will take it from there. Okay, so let's go!
Thanks, Jessica, for having me here.
No problem.
So before we continue, just a bit of promotion for Panwrite. These are the products that they manufacture, and if you're in the health or beauty or medical industry and you need any of these, make sure to contact Panwrite. Okay, so let's get into the details. So I understand, Jessica, that you're looking into digitizing your business. Before we talk about digitizing, why don't we talk about what are the general problems you're facing, and then from there we can have a bigger picture of what's happening and how can we zoom in to see where you can start.
Well, generally, the problems is actually we are unable to actually get the cost of the production. Yeah, so we can know it generally, what are the costs, but in particular products, it's very hard to gain an insight of it because we have one machine that can grow a few products, and it ranges from very small, like 30 ml,
right,
and then to 200 ml.
Okay.
Some is actually like 300 ml to 750 ml.
Right.
So I have like 600 over plus products, right? So I have 20 over machines.
Right.
So we have not really actually gained an insight or have any data in terms of what are the costs.
Okay.
Right.
Because I remember you only came back to your family business not too long ago.
10 years ago, yeah.
So how long has this journey?
I started here, work back here is actually 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, but recently, 2 years ago when I met you and some other people, then only I start thinking about digitalization.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
Because previously I was just concentrating on the sales part.
Right, okay. And that was,
so then, a few years back, we were facing actually losses.
Okay.
So then only I actually looked into the production part.
Okay.
And look into the digitalization. Basically.
Okay, cool.
So then I find that it's very hard for me to get data.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no data.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though we are actually an ISO company, but it's very hard.
Having real data is different from getting an ISO. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So what are the major challenges you're facing in terms of trying to capture data? Is there any specific areas that you think is an obstacle?
Well, my challenge in a way is actually to get management buy-in in a sense, because manufacturing is always about cost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So investing in a system itself will cost. It's a big chunk of money, basically.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
Then, being a businessman, you buy a machine. it will generate income.
Okay.
Buying a system won't be able to
Right.
generate income.
Okay. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically,
Right. That's the challenge you're
yeah,
facing.
the challenge that
Okay.
I'm facing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the key thing that management need to look at? Because we're talking about ROI and whatnot. What do you think is the thing that will convince them, and not just convince them, but make them jump into it straight away?
To me, is to be able to present the data out
Right.
and to be able to do informed decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you need the data to present so that they can invest.
Correct.
But right now we're not even talking about that. We're talking about there's no clarity or there's no data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like you're 3 steps behind even get. So you're looking at 2 or 3 steps more before you're talking into getting an investment done, right? So this is very classic. A lot of SMEs don't have data to quantify their investments, and without that data to quantify, it's very hard to make a judgment call in terms of looking at investment, because many SMEs are looking at, if I put in X amount of money, what is my return and how long?
How long? How fast? Is it
And how
gonna
fast?
be?
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So classic problem.
Yeah.
Do you think this? Because you're in plastic manufacturing, do you think this problem is the same across many of your counterparts? Or
Yeah, I would think so.
You think
Because
so?
because it's very
Awesome.
price sensitive.
Okay.
So the more you can capture the cost, the nearer to it, to
The
the
actual-
actual cost, right?
Yeah.
Then you can actually play with the selling price.
Right.
We are very price competitive.
Right. And
Just a simple, 1 cent or 2
you're
cents.
talking about 2% margins
Yeah.
or 5% margins.
Yeah.
That'll make a world of difference.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Cool.
And we're talking about cents, It's
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
It's not ringgit.
Sure.
Right? So
Yeah.
like it makes a lot of
Okay.
difference.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that is a good starting point. Very excited to work with Jessica and Panwrite to look at what are the starting, the baby steps that they can take, so that they can first of all capture data and then make a decision on even further investing in bigger systems.
Right, so as you can see, the discussion that I had with Jessica is quite straightforward. There's a 3-step process. First step is to understand what data they have, or what data do they need, so that from the data, they can look at where the loopholes are, where the inefficiencies, and where they need to improve. And once they've narrowed down areas where they can improve, that's where investments comes in. If I were to invest X amount, what is the issues that I'm solving? And by solving it, what are my returns? So of course, there are many ways to calculate ROI. For today, I'm just going to share with you some of the practices that are done by the smaller companies. And hopefully from there, I can help you demystify these few processes and look at what you can do if you are facing similar challenges as to what Panwrite is going through. Alright, so after speaking to Jessica, or Panwrite to be specific, one of the lessons that we need to learn is, especially in business or in a factory environment, is that what gets measured gets managed. And this is by the infamous Peter Drucker. And this is why I'm such a big advocate for big data, because with data, you can measure your performance. And when you measure it, you actually manage it. Okay. So what is the problem that is faced by Panwrite, or maybe in SMEs in general? So let's have a look. Right. So here I've got 2 illustrations. I've got company A and I've got company B. What Jessica or Panwrite is doing is exactly what company A is doing. So what does that mean? Let's say, for example, they are a manufacturing company, and they buy raw materials for production, and it costs them $500, right? Most of the SMEs would then put the $500 as their cost of goods sold. Okay. They would expense it almost immediately, and what will happen is there is sales. Sales will come in at say $600.
and at the end of the month or at the end of the year, they would then do their stock count and then say, okay, I have roughly $200 of stock. Then they will readjust the cost of goods sold so that it remains $300, and hence the profit for that period is $300. Right? Very simple example and commonly practiced. Right? So then let's compare company B. Okay, company B is also a manufacturing company and it's quite similar to company A. And what happens is they would buy $500 of stock. As soon as they buy $500 of stock, they put it into their balance sheet as raw material, right? And they will start their production. So what they would realize is for each types of products, they would use different raw materials. And in this example, you've got finished goods A, B, and C. A takes $50, B is 100, and C is 150, and that rounds up very nicely to $300, which means the remaining raw material is $200. For company B, what will happen then, once there is a sales, and sales is $600, once there is a sales, they would then move the finished goods ABC to become their cost of goods sold. Same example, and there is a same profit of $300. So what is the major difference here? The major difference is company B has visibility of the cost of each individual goods. Hence, they can manage the margins with more details. They can, with this kind of information, they can do a lot of things. And that's my point here. One of the information that is missing in Panwrite is that they've got no visibility. However, most SMEs who try to digitize their business think that they need to jump into this kind of detail. And what I'm saying is, no, they don't need to. There are easier ways, and that's something that I will explain to you in a few minutes.